Welcome back, homebodies. Welcome to my channel, Catskill Mountain Homebody. My name's Amy. It's the day before New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve Eve. So today I thought I would do a little pre-New Year's Eve blog and talk a little bit about what we cook on New Year's Eve in my Italian household and talk a little bit about where we got our supplies. I thought I would start this video with a little view of the last bit of Christmas snow that we have left. So even though we had a very, very cold Christmas week, but now we have a warm up. And today is almost 50 degrees outside and the snow is melting like crazy. So I think we're gonna have a green New Year's. But I'm happy we had a white Christmas. So I wanted to show you the last bit of snow we had before it all melts away. Because I have a feeling when the New Year's Eve rain comes, every last bit of snow is gonna be gone. Because we really didn't have that much to begin with down here in the Catskills. We had a few inches, but definitely not enough to sustain a few days of 50-degree temperature and rain on top of it. So, but it won't be the last of the snow for the season. Guarantee we'll have a couple more snowstorms before spring comes. We have a long way to go for the winter here in the Catskills. The winter lasts pretty much through March. And I mentioned that in my video, the 10 reasons why I love living in the Catskills, was that we have a late winter. It usually is warm through November, but then we have a late spring. Spring doesn't come till April. So March, we have a lot of snowstorms. So I'm sure we're gonna have many, many, many more snowstorms before the end of this winter. But that's okay. That's what living in the Catskills is all about. All right, a little backstory. Oh, first of all, I did want to show that I'm wearing, in honor of the last bit of snow, I put on my Betsy Johnson snowflake earrings. They're so cute, little pink snowflakes. So that's in honor of the snow that is melting away the day before New Year's. Other than that, I'm just wearing a black and white sweater. I'm not wearing anything too festive for New Year's. So, little backstory. Before I show you what we got for our New Year's Eve dinner, which is our tradition, I'll tell you a little bit about where we got the ingredients. So, yesterday my son and I went to go visit my parents in North Jersey. As I've mentioned in many videos, I'm originally from North New Jersey. And my parents still live in Northern New Jersey. So I don't live too far from North Jersey, and I often go down and visit my parents. So we went down to visit my parents. I brought them some of my meatballs and pasta, and we had a nice meatball and pasta lunch. And then after our visit, Julius and I went to a specialty Italian grocery store in North Jersey known as Uncle Giuseppe's. So Uncle Giuseppe's, it's a specialty Italian grocery store. It is a beautiful store. It's huge. It's the size of a regular grocery store, but it's all Italian food. They have literally everything you can think of. They make pizzas. They have a candy counter. They make their own homemade candy. They make their own cheeses. They have a meat section, a seafood section, their own bakery and pastry section. They also have your basic groceries like your, pasta and canned soup and canned tomatoes and all that stuff. But a lot of what they have in there is imported from Italy. It is a little pricey. We only go there a few times a year to get specialty food. I've shown you in earlier videos from last summer a couple of things I bought from there that I used, like the Burrata cheese salad. I bought another Burrata, by the way, to make another tomato and Burrata cheese salad, but that's in an earlier video. I'll link some of the videos I mentioned in the description. So I took a couple videos from inside the store, nothing much, just to kind of give you a glimpse, a little bit of what it looks like in there. But I wanted to show you what we got from Uncle Giuseppe's, especially for our New Year's Eve dinner. My parents didn't go out for New Year's Eve typically by themselves with their friends. My parents always made New Year's Eve about the family, so they didn't really go out and do their own thing on New Year's Eve. It was always about what we're doing on New Year's Eve together as a family. Oftentimes, New Year's Eve was similar to Christmas Eve, where like family and friends would come to our house and we would have dinner and we would play games and dance and that kind of thing that we used to do on Christmas Eve. The food that we always ate on New Year's Eve, even when I was young, was Italian sausage with cheese inside it and peppers and onions. And I'm going to show you this in a minute, but you can go to any Italian specialty store and you'll find the sausage with the cheese in it. We don't just make the typical sausage and peppers like I showed you in my earlier video over the summer where I made my Sicilian sausage and peppers. The New Year's Eve sausage and peppers is a little different. First of all, we use Cubanelle peppers and whatever onions you have. I usually just use regular yellow onions. That's the main pepper I use. The sausage is cooked separately because it's a thin Italian sausage that comes in a ring. And you cook it separately in the oven, the cheese sausage, and then you fry the peppers and onions on the stove. Or in my case, I'm going to use my air fryer. I used my air fryer last year. They come out beautifully in the air fryer. And the air fryer, again, it's a lot less oil and also very, very less messy than frying it in a big frying pan or using 2 or 3 frying pans, which is what I used to do. So I'm going to be showing you how I make that in my next video. I'm going to be filming my next video showing you how we cook on New Year's Eve. But for decades, the cheese sausage with the Cubanelle peppers and onions has been our New Year's Eve traditional dinner. And I don't know if any other Italian families do this. This is just what my family does. That's what we expect. So that's what I cook. I cook it whether it's the 3 of us, which is going to be this year just me, Joe, and Julius. But I also cook it if my parents are here for New Year's Eve. If anyone else is joining us for New Year's Eve, that's the New Year's Eve dinner. So that was our traditional food for New Year's Eve. And again, New Year's Eve for us was a family night. It's not a night where we go out and to bars and like to clubs or to a restaurant. We cook at home. It's a family dinner night. So that's what we always did for New Year's. When I was younger, I'm talking the 1980s, early 90s, everybody would come. Again, my parents would host New Year's Eve. Everybody would come over. My uncle would come over. My grandparents would come over. Friends of the family would come over. I would have my best friend Gemma come over. And we would have, again, the sausage and pepper dinner. And then we would play either games. Sometimes we would dance and things. But the number one thing we used to do was play a big bingo game. My mom had got this old, this plastic bingo game from like the 80s or 70s. And my mom would buy these little prizes. She'd wrap in gift wrap so we wouldn't know what they were. And they were little things. They were like a mug or a notepad, or sometimes they would be a little toy like a Rubik's Cube. Remember, it was the 80s. Little keychains, little things. It wasn't any extravagant prizes, but you would have thought, the way we were so into the game, that the prizes were like millions of dollars. But they weren't. They were just little trinkets and little fun games and toys. I'm going to try to find some photos from our old bingo nights at my parents' house. But my uncle, my father's brother, was the bingo caller. So my Uncle Joe passed away in 2019. He was a bachelor. He was a doctor. His whole life was being a doctor. He liked to call the bingo. And he was funny in calling the bingo, so it was very fun. So it would be all the kids, and, again, like I was a teenager. My brother and sister were teenagers. There were younger cousins who were there. And the adults would play too, because everybody wanted to win the bingo. And my uncle was always the caller. He would call the bingo number. And of course, we'd play different games. At first we start out with like make a line. Then we start, okay, everybody make an X, or make it a square, and the last game would be the blackout. Everybody have to get every single number. But it would be so much fun. We would like scream and yell at my uncle. We would yell like the numbers we wanted. We're like B10, I-17, and he would milk that, so he would be like, okay, and he'd be like, oh, and then we would all yell out numbers we wanted, and he would just stand there and be like you'd be like, B1, he'd be like, B, and we'd be like 1, 5, and he'd be like, B, no, milk it out for a long time. And it was fun. I think I won bingo one time in all those years and all those games. I never won. I would never win. But it didn't matter. We had fun. And those were great memories of us playing bingo. So yeah, so that's what we did many, 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 many years ago. We would get together and play bingo. So when my husband and I got married, we still spent New Year's Eve at my parents' house. We didn't play bingo every year, although sometimes if there were many people who were there, we would break out the bingo game, and I would buy the gifts. I'd buy little scratch-off tickets, or I would buy, again, candy, a chocolate orange, and different things that I would wrap up in wrapping paper. So up until the past few years, we have been playing bingo still. But since the pandemic, my parents have downsized and we've been pretty much spending New Year's here at my house. And it's just been me, Joe, and Julia, so we forgo the bingo now. But my son still looks forward to sausage and peppers on New Year's Eve. And we are going to do it this year. And again, we're going to have a small New Year's Eve. It's not going to be no bingo, no exciting games. But I do imagine in the future, especially if we ever have grandchildren, that we will be bringing back the bingo games with the children. And there will be bingo again. Bingo will return someday when as the family changes and progresses. That is my dog eating his bone, because he always picks when I'm filming to eat his bone next to my feet. Let me show you. Oh, the life with dogs. All right, I'm going to show you some footage now that I took yesterday at Uncle Giuseppe's. And again, it's not extravagant footage. I did it real quick. But I did take some footage of some of the sausage section, the olive section. I think I took some footage of the sandwich. They have pre-made sandwiches they sell. And the bread. They do have a big bakery and they make their own bread and it's really, really good. So I didn't go crazy with the footage, but I did show you some of the things. So after I show you that footage, I'm going to show you a few things that we bought at Uncle Giuseppe's, and I'll show you what I bought in preparation for our New Year's Eve dinner that I'm going to be cooking tomorrow night. I hope you enjoyed some of that footage inside Uncle Giuseppe's specialty Italian store in North Jersey. I pulled out a couple things that we bought. This is stuff we bought just to eat today and on through the New Year's weekend. But I just want to show a couple things that I bought. This is store-made prosciutto bread that you can heat up. And we haven't eaten this yet. It's kind of falling apart, but it's delicious. So I'm going to be heating this up maybe with dinner tonight. But it's really, really delicious, and it has prosciutto and cheese baked into it. We got a couple heroes. This was mainly for last night's dinner. By the way, I also got a chicken Parmesan stromboli. But we got Uncle Giuseppe hero. I think this one had breaded chicken, fresh mozzarella cheese, and roasted red pepper. We got the Three Girls favorite, which is a lemon grilled chicken with some arugula and fresh mozzarella sandwich. So we ate those last night. I got a couple salads. So I got some fresh mozzarella with crushed red pepper and olive oil. This is just a pesto pasta salad with tomatoes. My husband likes their meatballs. So I just got a small, it's about 5 meatballs in this package. My son likes to eat the grilled chicken. He got the teriyaki, and this is the lemon chicken breast. And he likes to eat those. It's his favorite. He always makes sure to get those when we go there. I also bought these beautiful tomatoes, and they have to ripen a little bit more. The reason I bought those is because I bought a burrata cheese, and I'm going to be making a tomato and burrata cheese salad. And I'm probably going to make that on New Year's Eve. And again, I have a video already up of how to make that salad. I'll post it in the description. I also bought, they have a great olive section. an amazing olive section. And these are from Italy. These are the Kalamata pitted olives. And I got a whole container of them, which we like to put in our salads. Delicious. So that's some of the things that we bought at Uncle Giuseppe's. Not everything, but a lot of what we bought at Uncle Giuseppe's. All right, I'm gonna put this away and then I'm gonna show you the sausages. All right, these are the cheese and parsley pork sausage rings. I actually bought 5 of them. I only pulled 4 out of the fridge, but there are 5 of these that I bought. They are made every day, fresh, at Uncle Giuseppe's. They are absolutely delicious. So they make them in this pinwheel shape, but if you see here, there are 2 wooden stakes that they put through it to keep them together. So I line my baking tray with some tin foil. I place these on top, and then I bake them about maybe 40 minutes in a high heat oven. And the cheese is gonna melt out of it. That's why you have to cook them on tin foil, because they're gonna make a mess, but oh, the kitchen's gonna smell delicious. So this is the specialty sausage that we make every New Year's Eve. These are the peppers that I buy, and Uncle Giuseppe's always has the most beautiful Cubanelle peppers. And I usually get a big bag of them. By the way, I bought almost all of the peppers they had. They were almost out. I don't know if a lot of other people make this meal for New Year's Eve. But because this wasn't as many as I wanted to get, it looks like a lot, but it's gonna cook down. I bought 2 red peppers I'm gonna mix in. I'll show you that. And I have my own red pepper too. But I had to buy 2 red peppers. I'm gonna make a couple red peppers in with the green, because they didn't have all the Cubanelle peppers that I really, really wanted. It's just me, Joe, and Julius this year, so it's okay if we're, I can always make peppers later, more peppers later if we have extra. These aren't gonna be lasting long for extras though. They usually go pretty quick. Joe could eat a whole one of these by himself on New Year's Eve. So I bought 2 of these. Joe ate this last night with some of his meatballs. I bought 2 of these sesame Italian loaves of bread. And then I also bought a sesame semolina baguette bread that we're gonna eat tomorrow night with the sausage and peppers. So when I make the sausage and peppers, after the sausages are cooked in the oven, I do wrap up the bread in tin foil and I heat it up. So we have warm bread with the cheese sausage, the Cubanelle peppers and onions. And then I usually make a salad, which this year I'm gonna make the Burrata cheese tomato salad. It's gonna be a delicious meal. I also wanted to show that we bought some green grapes and a little bag of cherries. And the cherries really aren't in season now, but I did buy, Uncle Giuseppe's always has beautiful produce in addition to the tomatoes. So I did buy a little bit of fruit, not a lot, but the fruit is beautiful there. It's hard to resist. They have great produce. I also bought my husband a little tiramisu cake, which I did film. That's gone. I don't know if my son ate it too, but the little tiramisu cake is gone now the day after. But I didn't buy that for New Year's. I just bought that because my husband loves tiramisu. Let me show you a couple other sweet things that I bought at Uncle Giuseppe's before I say goodbye till tomorrow. My husband loves panettone. They had a tower of this panettone cake in Uncle Giuseppe's. And my husband loves to eat this for breakfast. He has it with his coffee. Sometimes he has it as a snack also. So of course, my son and I made sure to get that for my husband. And then the next thing that I'm gonna show you, I bought for myself. All right, I'd like to show you something that I bought for myself as a sweet treat that I buy every time I go to Uncle Giuseppe's, because it's hard to find in other stores. And I put them in this little candy bowl that I got from Goodwill in New Jersey over the summer, and I have that in my earlier video. This is Bossy chocolate. It's spelled B-A-C-I. It is a dark chocolate with hazelnut candy that is one of my favorite chocolates of all time. And of course I had to buy a box of that at Uncle Giuseppe's. So they're a little expensive. I think the box had 12 candies for $19.99. So they're about $1 a candy. But I don't buy them all the time. And of course, I had to buy that candy as my little sweet treat from Uncle Giuseppe's. So of course I had to buy that for myself. So the main things I buy at Uncle Giuseppe's are Italian meat. Oh, I also bought some Romano grated cheese for our pasta. And I always buy that there at Uncle Giuseppe's too when I'm there. And I didn't show you that, but I did buy that. So we did buy quite a lot of food at Uncle Giuseppe's. But again, we don't go all the time. I go a couple times a year. So that's my preparation for New Year's Eve dinner that we're going to be making tomorrow. Stick around. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button in my video. But I'm really happy that you joined me. I am going to be filming how I cook my cheese sausage and peppers and onions on New Year's Eve. So I'll be uploading a separate video on that. This video is just kind of a prep for upcoming New Year's Eve video. So I hope that you all have great plans for New Year's Eve with delicious food and friends and family. And I'll see you in my New Year's Eve cooking with me video.